The information era of 2026 is defined not by the universality of data, but by the intricacies of its boundaries, dictated by legal systems with diverging priorities and enforcement capabilities. As companies operate on a global scale, their success hinges on the ability to steer through a mosaic of digital borders, each enforced by region-specific privacy mandates. This narrative outlines the core pillars of a pragmatic compliance strategy in an age of data sovereignty and legislative multiplication, using GDPR in Europe and CCPA/CPRA in California as foundational case studies. The once idyllic vision of a unified digital marketplace has dissolved, supplanted by a splinternet, where the crosswinds of regulation threaten continuity and scale. The European Union's General Data Protection Regulation enshrines privacy as an unassailable human right, imposing strict consent and processing obligations, while California's CCPA grants consumers expansive rights to know, opt out, and delete their data. This divergence means businesses must either universally implement the most stringent controls or embrace a sophisticated regime of geofence governance. In such a regime, infrastructure must dynamically detect user locality and deploy corresponding legal protocols, necessitating agile IT architecture but risking operational complexity and overhead. The interface between compliance and growth is most exposed in the marketing funnel. No longer can organizations rely on obfuscated tracking or pre-ticked consent boxes. The advent of explicit consent requirements in GDPR and easy opt-outs embedded within CCPA has decimated traditional marketing approaches built on surveillance and data aggregation. Instead, competitive advantage is now derived from the provision of tangible value in exchange for data, value-driven opt-ins. The calculus is straightforward. Only when users perceive direct benefit will they consent to personal data use. Failure here means not only compliance risk, but also atrophy of remarketing pools and diminution of analytic clarity, as users exercise their right to erasure. Cross-border data transfers exemplify the new era of data sovereignty, where the flow of personal information is as tightly regulated as the movement of capital or natural resources. Organizations that once centralized data stores for efficiency must deconstruct their architectures, mapping data flows with precision and adhering to standard contractual clauses. Increasingly, decentralized and regionally partitioned cloud environments are deployed, ensuring local data residency and averting accidental regulatory breaches when sensitive information traverses an invisible yet consequential regulatory threshold. To remain robust in the face of perpetual legislative flux, proactive organizations embrace privacy by design. This ethos requires stakeholders, engineers, product managers, legal experts, to infuse privacy considerations into every developmental layer, from concept through deployment. Architectural preferences skew toward data minimization, just-in-time collection, and rigorous anonymization protocols. Such foresight insulates operations against the exigencies of emergent privacy laws, transforming compliance from a reactive scramble to a routine discipline. Finally, the consequences of misstates have never loomed larger. In 2026, real-time AI-powered audits by regulators continuously scrutinize compliance. Infractions are met not only with punitive fines, but equally damaging is the erosion of brand trust, an asset more ephemeral and harder to restore than any monetary penalty. A comprehensive compliance strategy becomes not merely a cost center, but an essential pillar of sustainable growth, brand equity, and long-term viability. In conclusion, the strategic architect of 2026 must deploy an integrative compliance framework, blending regulatory literacy, adaptive technology, user-centric value exchange, and an ingrained privacy culture. Only by internalizing these imperatives can organizations master the complex harmonization of GDPR and CCPA, ensuring not only legal conformance, but the trust and loyalty of a privacy-savvy global user base.